Well, hey everybody, welcome to Raven's Outpost. It's going to be a different type of show tonight. I'm not on my usual format. Using StreamYard again. I'm going to, I don't know, invite some people on if you want to come on and maybe tell a story or two. I notice, I'm starting early. I do apologize about that. And with very little warning. Supposed to be midnight, but I got a lot of stuff going on right now. I do apologize. I really do. Welcome to another episode of The Raven's Eye, where we discuss just about everything. I will say something today. I was listening to an episode of Strange Familiars. If you're not familiar with it, Timothy Renner, he's a great host. He's a great guy. I don't know him personally, but he seems to be about a genuine person as you'd find. He's a host of Strange Familiars. And for the longest time, I've been thinking about where I fit into all this mess. When I say this mess, I'm talking about the paranormal field in general. And because, what do I always say? It's always connected. It's all connected. And I'm not a Bigfoot guy. Not really. Not into the UFOs like a ufologist would be. I'm not a paranormal researcher like a ghost hunter or something like that. But yet I am. I'm all of those. I'm all of those, and I'm sitting back thinking, what kind of name do we have for someone like me? And there's plenty of people out here who are just like me, who've got the same attitude, who've got the same idea that everything's connected one way or the other, And Timothy Renner, he spoke it. He said he's a paranormalist. I'm like, dude, that's pretty sweet. Paranormalist. I like that. I like that a lot. And that's what I'm going to use. That's what I'm using. And I'm probably going to stick with it. Lee McNew, paranormalist with the Ravens Outpost. I'll look into UFO accounts. I'll look into haunting issues. I'll look into cryptid issues. You name it. And here's Miley again. She can't just stay away. Bless her heart. Would you please move? Stop. Yeah, my dogs don't want to get in the video. Yeah, I think you've seen one of them, and when he reacted to the Sierra sounds at the beginning of Sasquatch Chronicles. I did a video of that. I'm not going to be on that long tonight. Midnight the latest, because I've got a lot of stuff going on. That and I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm tired. And thought about, just postponing it and doing it tomorrow. I might do a special tomorrow night. I don't know. All depends on how things go. But there's tonight, like I said, there's whoever comes on. Let's see. I'm going to try. Okay. Okay. I've got a link in chat. Whoever comes on, take a gander at it and maybe come on and shoot the breeze with me. We'll talk paranormal stuff. I really do hate being forced to do this off of my normal I hate to do it out of my normal routine because it throws me off. People get a short warning if they actually get it at all. Sometimes people don't get the notification they're supposed to be getting. It don't always come across right. But there's something I wanted to share with you guys, and this is something that's been I've been thinking about a lot lately. And it's a subject that isn't discussed that much in the Black Eyed Kids, And according to this article in Pararational, in short, black-eyed kids are alternately black-eyed children, or alternately black-eyed children are entities of unknown origin that approach individuals and request or demand entry into their homes or vehicles. They appear as children, usually ranging from ages of about 8 to late teens, and defining physical characteristics is their eyes are solid black with no white showing. What black-eyed children want is open to debate, but is likely not good. Below is some history of BEK, on BEK, black-eyed children, sightings and reports on encounters people have had with them. It's weird. Okay, hold on just a second. I gotta check something. I'll be right back. Alright, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. Wish I could just pause the broadcast. Like I said, I do apologize for this. Tonight's episode is supposed to air at midnight. And, just couldn't do it tonight. And like I said, I wanted to. I thought about just postponing it and doing it tomorrow night, but I didn't know whether I'd be able to do it then tomorrow night or not, because things are going to be I'm going to be a little busy tomorrow too, and I'm thinking, the show must go on, so I'm going to try and do it early. See, I've got one viewing. How you doing tonight? Speak up in chat. Come on in. Let's have a conversation. But we talk about a little bit of everything. Topic I'm trying to run with for starters are the black-eyed children. It's weird stuff with these black-eyed children. It's I don't know if everybody can see this okay or not. But here we go. We'll look at the history of black-eyed children according to Pararational. Anecdotal reports of encounters that may have been black-eyed kids have been found going back over 100 years. The first solid modern report of a true black-eyed kid encounter is that of Brian Bethel. His account of meeting black-eyed children outside a movie theater has been reposted countless times across the internet. And that is one of the staples there. You'll hear that in a lot. That's the most popular tale, and that is true. Clayton Backwell, how are you doing tonight? Thanks for stopping by. Talking about a little bit of everything tonight. Description of black-eyed kids. That's what we're talking about tonight. A little bit here and there. While the details of individual black-eyed children encounters vary, there are some general commonalities. And these are what we use in classifying encounters with entities between BEK encounter and, say, a shadow person. A group of 2 to 4 individuals appear to be between 8 years old and late teens, wear clothes that are outdated or wrong for the season, speak oddly as if it isn't their native language, very demanding and pushy, request entry into a home, car, or life in some way, appear and disappear without explanation, often exhibit psychic powers, can disrupt, affect electronic devices, have an aura that scares and disturbs animals. Yeah, that's right. That's other than being creepy, that's right. What do they want? And what are they? You've got reports going back 100 years. I mean, geez. But you don't hear a lot about them. Not generally. You hear about ghosts a lot and a lot of creepypasta stuff. They're They could be anything from demons to alien hybrids, according to this article here, or something else. Um, I got another article pulled up here from Mysterious Universe. This article is by Nick Redfern, stating a sinister UFO and Sasquatches. I'll be dog. I've got a link up here. You want to hop on and tell your story? If not, that's cool. But let's see. Let's move on here. The sinister new side to the black-eyed children. In December of last year, I wrote an article here in Mysterious Universe titled Black-Eyed Children, Occultists, and Demonologists. In the same article, I said the following. It's intriguing to note that of the many BEC cases I have on record, one involves two people who were confronted by the BEC in New Orleans in 2006. Why is it intriguing? I'll tell you why. The pair had deep ties with the world of demonology, a world they had embraced some months before the BEC manifested, or black-eyed children, manifested on their doorstep late one evening. Three people, Alabama-based, were heavily involved in the occult long before they saw three BEC in 2015. I continued as follows in the same article. In light of all this, about 3 months ago, I very quietly began a research project to determine how many people, A, have seen the BEC, and B, also have ties to the occult and to matters relative to various issues, including demonology. Somewhat grudgingly, some of the witnesses admitted to me to having connections to the occult. Others acted in what were clearly awkward fashion when I brought up the matter up, something which suggested they knew exactly what I was talking about, but had no desire to confirm my suspicions of a supernatural connection to their private lives. I'm seeing a startling picture beginning to develop. It's a story which shows that more than a few of the witnesses to the BEC were not actually chosen at random. After all, as has long been assumed. I am me. Dude, how are you? Hey, look. This is an early episode, man. I apologize, guys, for all this. Got a lot of stuff going on. I kind of wanted to do it late. I'm tired. It's been a long day. Been a trying day. I'm doing okay. I'm hanging in there. 3:30 a.m. there. Wow. I bet. If it's 3:30 a.m. there, wow. Where you at? I can't even remember. It's been a long time, man. If you don't want to share that, that's cool. They are creepy as hell. Okay, thanks, Clayton. Yeah. Whenever you want, if you want to, Sweden. Oh, wow. Wow. How is things over there right now? Or how I should say, I should say, how are things? I'm telling you, I'm tired. uh, if I slur my words, I'm not drunk, I promise. So, you know, that's good. About 6 miles from Denmark. That's cool. That is cool. Um, kind of, I was kind of hoping I'd run into a couple people who might want to come on here and tell a story, give an account. I really don't have my stuff together like I normally do tonight. Like I said, I've got a couple of things pulled up. I'm not on my normal format, but I'm glad to see you guys here. I really am. I appreciate it. Um, I go on rather late. This show is supposed to have aired at midnight, but 10 o'clock is about the latest I could go, and the latest I'll be able to keep this show going is probably. Oh, that's sweet, man. Helsingborg, is that right? Am I pronouncing that right? And Ferris going to Denmark. Sweet. Oh, yeah. I'm not big of. I'm not a real big fan of water either. Some people say, "Well, let's go to the beach." Me, I just rather go back up in the mountains. I really would. I'd rather go back up in the mountains. Uh, oh, thank you. Yeah. Hell, it's hard to tell what you run into and out in the mountains, but at least you can run from that. It's just you can only so much water you can tread, and with the monsters that are in the deep, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'm just gonna post this right here. Amen, brother. Amen. Hey, it's a weird night. We're 23 minutes in already. Um, I was watching this episode on YouTube, and they were talking about, explaining disappearances in the Navajo reservation over here, and just right around the Four Corners area, if you're familiar. You know, Colorado, Nevada, New Mexico, and Arizona. Exactly. If we were meant to fly, we'd have wings, right? Lighten back well. Exactly. Hey, Clayton, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. Lighten back well. Hey, Clayton, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. Got some feedback here. Hey, Clayton, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. Got some feedback here. So, Clayton, how you doing tonight? Good, good. So, Clayton, how you doing? So, wow. You got are you talking, or you got me listening through speakers? Or you got a headset on or anything? Because I'm getting a little feedback here. You got you talking, or you got me listening through speakers? You got a headset on or anything? Because I'm getting a little feedback. You on the headset?
That better?
Okay. Oh, okay. Hold on just a second.
Oh, that better?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I can't hear myself no more. That's good.
I had a double camera.
Oh, okay. So so you had encounters with Bigfoot and UFOs. Um, care to tell your story, man?
Well, one, the best one I found was doing guard duty for private security company. And we were guarding an open natural gas pipe because they got some terrorist threats blow it up. Well, one night I was out there and I had this huge 10,000 power spotlight in the car. And I was shining it out and because I heard footsteps. Of course, this is across the river about 200 yards away. And I see this huge jet black Sasquatch right out in the open.
Wow.
Yeah, he kind of growled at me.
Whoa.
I lowered the light and just looked at him and said, "I'm not here for you, big guy. You can go on your way." Walking.
Hey Clayton, can you get a little closer to your mic?
That better?
A little bit, because you're really hard to hear right now.
Well, it took me a bit to.
Oh, that's better. Yeah. So you saw it out in the open? It was just standing there.
Well, it stopped because I hit it with the light.
Oh.
The big old spotlight.
Wow. What?
He got,
So
he got caught out in the open. And he wasn't too thrilled with that.
they usually don't like to be seen.
No, they don't. And but get this. This was within the city limits.
Do what now? I'm still having a hard time. It's like you're kind of muffled. I don't know what the deal is. It might be StreamYard, man. I don't know, or it just might be my setup. I don't know.
Oh, it could be my headset. But it was within the city limits.
Okay, so what happened then? You put the spotlight on him. He stopped, and what happened then?
Oh,
You said he
he
growled at you.
Yeah.
Damn.
This deep, heavy. It was more felt than heard. And I just looked at him and said, "I'm not here for you, I'm here for people."
Wow.
He grunted at me and kept right on walking. Right into the woods on the other side.
Damn.
No more than 20 yards away, and he was at least 8 feet.
20 yards, man. That's close.
It is, but it was across the river. Although I'm sure he could have waded that part of the river.
Wow. So, about how big you think it was?
Oh, he was every bit of 8 feet.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. You know, I've still haven't never seen one, but I know they're out there. I've had encounters with them, but I've never actually seen one. Um, I'm okay with that though. I got a feeling if I ever saw one, it might be the last time I go in the woods. I don't know. Uh,
unless
How did that how did that affect you? I mean, did it bother?
it didn't
Go
bother
ahead.
it didn't bother me so much. It was a kind of just a shock because, like I said, dude, we're within the city limits and it's a state park.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, not too far away is the rifle club.
But dude, 20 yards.
Yeah,
Like, okay, yeah, about 6 meters. That's too damn close, dude. That's too damn close. But the fact that all he did was growl at you and walk off, that's a damn good encounter, in my opinion. That's a hell of an encounter.
it's because I showed respect to him.
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah,
are
that's
not,
true.
they are not animals. They are a people. And they
Absolutely.
understand. They understand English. Some of them do,
Absolutely.
but you got to listen real close. Yeah. That's been in uniform.
Wow. That's crazy. So, have you had any other encounters with Bigfoot, or is that your only one?
Um, I've had a few others over the years. One was when I was real young. We were with my mom and dad at the lake, and we saw it come down the hill. It's about a 45-degree incline. It walked on 2 feet, splashed down in the water, and then went back up the hill on 2 feet.
Damn.
I was about
You know, I believe that those of us who have some type of paranormal encounter, and I do account a Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Sabe, whatever you want to call them, as a paranormal encounter. Um,
carrying
I really do, and I think once you have that paranormal encounter, whether it's a UFO, whether it's a ghost, um, something like that, or Bigfoot, you're, I don't know, for lack of a better word, marked, and your chances of having another encounter, whether it be the same type or not, goes up exponentially, I believe. And I agree with you. I truly believe that the Sasquatch are a people, and I don't believe for a moment they're some North American great ape. And I agree with you too on the fact that I think that they're too intelligent for that.
They are.
I think they've got their own language. You know,
They do. It's like Untitled Chapter.
right? Exactly. I believe who was it? Was it Scott Adams, the crypto linguist? It broke everything down. Him and Rob Moorhead, were collaborating. Scott took Ron's recordings of the Sierra sounds,
I
and he was
have
breaking.
that recorded on the computer.
That's awesome. They're creepy, man. When and you can tell that they're slowing their speech down so that maybe Ron and everybody else can understand. Like you're around someone who's not native to the area, says, "Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?" Sort of like that. But I think it sounded to me like they were trying to slow their speech down so that maybe they could understand them better. I don't know, but it was really wild.
I'm convinced they are actually Neanderthals that survived.
You think they're what now? I'm sorry.
Neanderthals.
It could very well possibly be. Very well. I mean, I wish I knew exactly what they were.
Well, it's the Department of the Interior that's covering it all up.
Oh yeah, yeah. That I
Got that from actual people. I got that corroborated from a federal park ranger, our own local DNR, and some are well, they were. Because
so
I'm a hunter instructor.
you know there's so many people out there who do know about this and either won't or can't
They
say anything.
because
You
they're
know,
all under G.
right,
Thing.
right.
People,
They have they can't they either can't or won't.
they can't.
Right.
And law enforcement is under orders to downplay it to something normal.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a bear you saw, or something like that.
I mean, the MIBs have actually gone in, the agents, and told military personnel what they saw.
So I can hear you okay. Some people can't hear you hardly at all, evidently.
Going to check that.
I can hear you better than you were before.
How's that?
That sounds a little bit better.
Yeah, I took off the auto adjustment, just maxed it out.
Oh yeah, you sound a lot clearer now. You've got a little hiss in the background, but at least I can hear you. Yeah, is everybody here, Clayton? Okay. But yeah, I am me. The encounters of being followed home and harassed. That's a weird one, right there. I heard of an encounter where somebody was followed home like 30 or 40 miles from where they had an encounter, and it was like maybe a Class B at that.
Well,
But I found it.
location.
It's true. What about your UFO encounters? How many of those have you had?
3 over the years.
Right?
Cool. Most of them when I was younger because we lived down in the southwest, Colorado.
Okay. Okay.
And when you're out in the desert, you can see them quite a ways away.
Yeah, a lot less light pollution out there.
Oh yeah. I used to go out in the desert and look for lightning gas.
Wow. So what was your first encounter like?
Nothing real great. Nothing where anything had run. Just, standard, see the thing up in the air.
Right.
I've seen the big triangular one. I've seen the cigar-shaped one. Heck, even my grandmother, God rest her soul, saw one following the local river.
Wow. Wonder what it was doing.
It was in trouble. It had metal ring off of it. Hot.
Huh. That's wild. That's wild. Um,
One I had was we were up on a pass between where I live now, where I used to live, up on the Columbia River. And that was a dual encounter back then. First we saw a UFO come down to 45-degree angle, just an orange ball of light. But it leveled off and shot straight into a canyon. And then when my dad got out to put the chains on the truck, we heard a Sasquatch.
wow.
That is a sound that will make your blood turn to ice water.
Mm-hmm. My first one was like that. I was solo camping and I heard it. It was like three different sounds that morphed together. Started out like a roar, a howl, and a scream, all in one breath.
Yeah.
I am me. Hey, if you feel like it, if you want, you can come on and tell the story, man. I mean, we'd love to hear it. You don't have to reveal any names or anything. Just the encounter enough is something. I mean, it's sharing encounters. You've got a knowledge base at that point. You know, people share this encounter, people share that encounter, and you pool our knowledge, and that way we get a wider base of knowledge about what's going on out there. You know what I'm saying? Clayton, I appreciate you coming on and telling your story, dude. I really do. That's fascinating.
Normally, I'm a rather shy, reserved individual. I normally don't do broadcasting. But I think I'm going to change direction. Because I have been so blessed with people on YouTube. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten to know Steve Stockton of Missing Persons Mysteries. And he's made me a lot on his chat.
Oh. So, you had any other paranormal experiences? It was just a Bigfoot or UFOs?
Lived in a few haunted houses.
What now? I'm sorry.
Lived in a few haunted houses over the years.
Oh yeah, that's always fun. It all depends on the haunting. You know, some of them aren't so bad. Some of them are a pain in the ass. Others are kind of malicious.
Well, the first one was a non-malicious poltergeist. And come to find out, I could see the ghost and her tutor. Nobody else could.
Wow.
The one that shook everybody up. And where my cousin would never step foot in the house again was when we both saw my lunch, which was a pot of chicken potato soup. Literally, this is no joke, sprout from the stove to the table because it said my lunch was warm enough.
So what happened? What happened to you during this whole thing?
Absolutely nothing.
Wow.
Julie would sit in my room and tell me stories. And she had this little white toy poodle.
Huh.
So it goes.
You know, it's funny how sometimes these entities will, I don't know, pick on certain people and leave other people alone. It's like they've been singled out. How old were you when this happened?
Oh, about 3, 4.
Wow.
My parents were doing estate teaching.
Dude, I tell you what, that's young for that to happen.
Oh, yeah, that's startling enough to stay with me.
Yeah.
Another one was my mom's parents' house, which we still have. The former owner haunted it, and he was a basketball-sized wad of green light that floated around the house.
Wow.
Inadvertently stuck my hand through him at one point. You want to talk cold?
Really?
Yeah. This is like I stuck it in a fucking ice block.
Damn. But see, you know, you having it that early, and then you having the UFO encounters, whether you just seeing them or not, it's just the fact that you had one, and then you're running with the Sasquatch. Like I was saying, once you've had, it's just my personal opinion. I mean, who the hell am I? You know, once you have an encounter, I believe your chances of having another one grow up exponentially. And you've lived in several haunted houses. You've seen UFOs on several different occasions. You've had a couple of encounters with a Bigfoot. So, I don't know. I think it just proves my point. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I totally understand and believe you're quite correct. Somehow it's an electromagnetic attraction.
Yep, I think so. I mean, you look at all the electronic equipment that's used to detect paranormal activity. Usually it has to do in the range of the EMF field, right? Or, you know, you're using an EMF detector or a Geiger counter. You know. So, and it goes back to my theory about how I think that quantum physics is probably the answer to finding out a lot of these questions right now. You know, because they're, you know, looking at everybody's on a frequency, and sometimes if that frequency happens to match up because of some type of external condition, like say some type of an EMF field that's been disrupted by a paranormal entity like a ghost, then this one person just happens to sync up with it. So yeah, I agree with you there. That's one of my theories about how we're able to interact and how we're marked. Like I said, it's the only way I can describe it.
Makes sense to me. Same thing kind of goes with the multi-dimension.
Yeah.
And how people can walk through a portal from one to another and then just disappear.
Yep. I forget what I was listening to. I think I was listening to an episode of Strange Familiars. I don't know if you've ever listened to that or not. With Timothy Renner, the podcast. The podcast. I highly recommend you checking it out because he covers everything. But he talked about this person talked about having an encounter with with ghosts, and it seemed that when he saw them and when they appeared, it was almost like a portal, just like you said, and it appeared right in the corner of this one bedroom, and that's where they would come out of. They would appear right there, like they'd come through a portal.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. And, well, I mean, it just goes back to some of these stories of haunted people instead of just places. Some they have these spirits have some type of emotional attachment to something, whether it be a place or a thing. Sometimes it's just an object, that moves around. A certain object has an attachment to it. Somebody buys it at an auction, and next thing you know, their house is haunted because yeah. I mean, the ghost has attached itself to this one object, and then there's this, like we were just talking about. They attach themselves to people for whatever reason.
Well, the city I lived in was a rail hub in the late 1800s. Big. And we've got several big mansions that people can hire out for pennies. I was same guard company I was working for had me in one of those because they were putting in a camera system.
Right.
And over that evening, I never saw anything, but I heard a turn of the century party going on, complete with harpsichord music, people talking. It was crazy.
Wow. I mean, okay, let me get this right. You actually physically heard it,
Yeah.
and in real time, not through some EVP.
No, real time.
Nice. Sometimes you give validation to other people's experiences, and sir, you just did this one for me because there's something similar happened to me many years ago, and and here's the thing: I was running water in a sink at the time. It was almost like that white noise was magnifying it. The water was running in the sink. I was getting ready to go to bed. I worked a night shift. I get home. Everybody's gone. The kids are at school. The ex-wife is at work. And I'm getting ready for bed, like I said.
Yeah.
And I hear this noise coming from the next room. And it's a pile of people. It's like when you're in a crowd, you hear all these voices together, but none of it really makes sense. It's the blah, 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 mumble of a bunch of different people, like a party. And what you just described is almost exactly to the T what I had heard. It was crazy. That's crazy, man.
Those are what they call a residual haunting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's an electromagnetic recording, like a tape recorder.
Right. This house I lived in was like 150 years old at the time, so it doesn't surprise me at all that it had some type of residual
Well, the last
haunting
house
there.
owned was remodeled in 1970.
It had what now? I'm sorry.
The last house I actually owned was remodeled in 1907.
Wow. Okay.
Because the remodeled ones were in the old fuse box top of stairs. And it was very well lit up paranormally.
Yeah, I don't know personally, but what they say. I only go by what they say. The paranormal researchers, the ghost hunters, whatever you want to call them. They say that sometimes doing remodeling of a house will stir a bunch of stuff up because.
Especially if you change like doorways.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Doorways, windows, walls. Like put a wall up where there wasn't one before. Just totally change up a flow. Yeah.
Oh yeah. If there's an actual physical, spirit there, that can actually make them angry. But then you'll start getting problems.
Right. Yeah. Even from the other side, conversations. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't have a whole lot of problems out of the house I lived in personally. Just annoyances because what I wound up doing is taking dominion over the house. It was doing. It was almost a. It was almost a. It was almost poltergeist type activity. And I took dominion over the house. Just let it know, hey, this is my house. My name's on the deed. You can stay here if you want, but cut out the hokey pokey bullshit and leave me alone. I've got work and I've got to go. But it stuck with my ex-wife and my former stepson. Yeah, it harassed them to death. Yeah, almost literally. Yeah. So yeah. Hey.
Yeah, I've been diagnosed as disabled and everything now, so I'm, take my chances and become a cryptozoologist.
Do what? What about cryptozoology?
No, I'm going to become a cryptozoologist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a fascinating thing, and with the encounters I've already had.
Right. Well, I can understand what would motivate you to go in that direction, that field of study. There's so many cryptids out here. We need some people out there who are out there searching for answers. Yeah, I was saying something earlier, and I don't know. I guess you call it a opening monologue. I'm not. I wouldn't put myself in a category of a paranormal researcher or a ghost hunter, or a cryptozoologist. I'm not a Bigfoot guy. I'm not a ufologist. I don't study that in particular, but I do study them all. I'm not in one particular field, but once again, from Strange Familiars, Timothy Renner, he come up with the term paranormalist. So that's what I consider myself, a paranormalist, because I think it's all connected. I think it's all connected in some form or fashion.
Well, if you take a look at Skinwalker Ranch.
Yep.
Yeah. Those things are true.
Well, there's all kinds of stuff going on there, and areas surrounding Skinwalker Ranch. You know, Skinwalker Ranch has got such a reputation that some of the areas surrounding the ranch are kind of overlooked. Its reputation overshadows what goes on outside those man-made boundaries. You know.
Yeah, there's another one that's just as creepy, just over the ridge. I mean, they're within like what 20, 30 miles of it.
Yeah, yeah. That's a lot of land to cover, man. A lot of land.
And then there's all those people that are wondering about Area 51. I laugh at them.
Really?
Oh yeah, I'm ex-Air Force.
So, what do you think about Area 51, man?
I know what it is. The actual military title for it is the Groom Lake Experimental Aircraft Testing Base.
Makes
Now,
sense.
that's why there's all the high security.
Right.
You got all these experimental aircraft out there that they're testing. I mean, they were testing the SR-71 in the late 60s.
Right.
And
Yeah, everybody was thinking that was a UFO too before they released the. Yeah.
especially considering it goes, what, Mach 7 plus?
Right. I mean the spy plane.
Yeah. They're working on an SR-72 right now.
I remember when I was a kid, I had a model of one. The SR-71 Blackbird.
I've seen it.
Dude, I would love to see one.
Yeah,
Never seen one.
Yeah, they had one at one of the air shows out there. It was an air base, not 20 miles away from town. Yeah, at first they had it roped off. He couldn't get within 30 feet of it. But they were sitting right there on the tarmac.
Wow. That's crazy.
And the funny thing is the B-2 Spirits, if they put them in the old B-52 hangars out there,
Mhm.
they'll disappear. Because the whole plane will fit in the hangar.
Wow.
Instead of having like 14, 16 feet of the tail sticking out through the door.
Uh huh. That's awesome.
My recruiter took us on a walkabout on base. We actually got to go on a live tour inside a B-52 and a KC-135 Stratotank. The fun part about that B-52 was it was a full fleet outfitted sack.
Really?
Yeah, it was
Dude.
loaded. It had 9 cruise missiles under each wing and another 2 rotary six-packs in the bound bay. And it can launch all that ordnance from 26 miles away from the coast.
That's crazy. I remember being on Pope Air Force Base in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and seen a couple of F-15s and A-10, some A-10s. I used to love an A-10 back in the day. The Warhog. The A-10 Thunderbolt, the Warhog, man. Tank buster.
Yeah, exactly. You want to find a fanatical pilot. A-10 pilots.
Yep.
Those planes
Them,
take a hell of a beating.
yeah, I know, right? They're the tank of the freaking sky.
They literally are a flying. Now, when you got to think, that cannon in the nose,
Yep.
the bullets coming out of it are the size of a Red Bull can.
Otherwise, what is it? A 20 millimeter gun?
30.
30. Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, I was off by 10. God bless.
Well,
So yeah.
they've actually scaled it down a little bit. They don't make the Avenger.
Okay.
36. And you don't hear about it, but the first air-to-air kill in the first Gulf War was an A-10.
Yeah. Yeah.
He thought he was tracking a tank from behind a sand dune. And
Wow.
when the target cleared the sand dune, he triggered his Avenger. A 20-second burst, and he caught a MiG from the nose all the way to the tail.
Wow.
That pilot didn't know what hit him.
Wow.
The guys on the ground said it was raining aluminum confetti for about 10 minutes.
That dude was toast.
Oh, almost instantaneous. He didn't feel it.
God. I remember years ago, I worked at ITT when I did security there, so it was government work.
Tell me about it.
and they it's where they had their set up to develop night vision goggles, and they had they had loaner pairs, and yeah, you could check them out. You had to have clearance to do all this.
Oh,
It goes back in the day. As this was after the Gulf War, right after
so it was Gen 2 development.
Yeah, there was Gen 3 they were working on. That's how old this is, Gen 3, and that was top of the line. And I remember taking a set of these goggles out in the woods, and you had the monocle, and then you had the pilots. I was actually able to get a hold of a set of the pilots' goggles, the night vision, heavy as hell. But man, there was a little button you could turn on when it got really dark. If you were in a really dark canopy, like in the woods, and you turn that little light on, and poof, everything freaking lit up. It's like holy shit, this is crazy. And you get to looking around, and all of a sudden, what's really creepy is you see these little eyeballs going blink, blink, blink. It's like, holy crap.
This is reflecting the IR.
Yep. If you hear a cat wailing in the background, I do apologize. Hold on just a second while I let this little critter out. I will be right back. All right, I'm back. I do apologize about that.
That's the problem. I have several of my own. As a matter of fact, there's a two of us sleeping here on my desk.
Cats are cats, man. I don't mind it. Yeah, I've got 3 of them. 3 cats and 2 dogs.
I only got one. He's a Terry Walker King.
Keep me pretty occupied. Little rascals. I was kind of hoping to have a few more people come on tonight. Oh. Yeah. Let's see. It's interesting to hear other people's stories, man. I really appreciate you coming on, taking the time.
I like it.
You know, some people can't, won't, have some type of restriction to it, and I understand that. I totally do. I totally do. I totally understand it. I'm getting ready to investigate a property this weekend. I was supposed to do it tomorrow, but it got pushed back to Sunday. They've got some wild stuff going out there, man. They've had a couple of animals killed, and they're seeing strange lights and all kinds of other stuff. I'm like, whoa. So, you know, I don't want to get in over my head. You know, it's when we're talking about cryptids, it's one thing, and I'm used to the ones I'm been dealing with out here in my investigation sites and research areas, whatever you want to call them. But
All of the above.
they're usually pretty cool. They're usually pretty cool, but
Have to engage.
yeah, they're not everywhere though. You know, they're not out here. Something has gotten close enough to these people's living space. You know.
Yeah, if people have to engage, you catch them from the side, or if you go from the front or the back, you hit them either in the head or in the neck.
Right.
Because you hit them in the chest, it's not going to do it. The muscle density is too high.
Really.
Whether it be a Sasquatch or a dog man or anything else.
Well, you know, I kind of figure a headshot from a large bore rifle, 45, 70, 458, or a, you know, say a 50 cal would probably put them down pretty quick.
There's a story out there of one guy put a dog man down with a 357 Magnum.
Yeah, if you hit them right. Yeah, it's all about shot placement, I'm sure.
I'd carry a 12 gauge and a horse jet. I'm out.
Yeah. If I'm out there, and I think it's going to be pretty hairy, I've got a 45-70 government, and I've also got a 45 automatic I carry on my side.
Yeah, I've got 45-70 the Magnum research revolver for the lever.
Right. I usually try to go out there with a pretty cool head. Usually, you know, I carry wherever I go. It's just a habit. You know, I have to stop, girl. Sorry, my cat's starting to think she runs the computer. Anyway. Yeah, well, she got her space, man. She thinks she owns it. But anyway, like the famous quote, if it bleeds, it can die. I believe that. I can't remember who said that either, but, you know. And I tell you what, they know what a gun is,
Oh,
and 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 it's it's like I can't remember who it was that brought it up, but I said they got to know what it is by the way they react to them, and the way they react to them that they can hurt them or kill them, and they know this, so. I don't know what it is about these stories of these cryptids that get shot multiple times with these large bore rifles and don't go down, don't even seem to be phased.
it's due to the muscle density. They're not getting into the final organ.
That's possible. You could be right, man. I don't know. You got to take an animal. Well, I'm sorry. You take a creature like them, a people like them who are built the way they are. As heavy, as tall. There's got to be a muscle mass, almost armor quality to it. I believe you could probably. I believe you're right about that.
Well, then there's variants in Sasquatch too.
Mm-hmm.
Two that come to mind. One's a Bigfoot. They look more like a cowboy.
Yeah.
Go the other way. They're a man cave. The Native Americans call it the fancy.
I've been wondering if we might have a few Gugwe around here.
Oh, it's entirely possible.
And the way these animals were destroyed, this place I'm going to be investigating this weekend. At first I was thinking Sasquatch, but they've lived in this area for 3 years, right? And this is the first time this is the first time anything like this has happened to any animals they've had outside. It was a horse and a goat. A horse totally hollowed out from the chest cavity to its hindquarters. Everything removed. And not a sign of blood. Like it had been totally exsanguinated. And the goat, the neck and head were completely removed. Almost surgically. And once again, not a drop of blood. It's crazy. And it happened no farther than maybe 150 feet from the enclosure they were in. They were removed from the enclosure, right? About 150 feet. I'm going over there. I mean, we've had a big frost. A lot of leaves have fell. It might have covered up a bunch, but there's stuff maybe I can find that they've missed because they just weren't looking for it. These are normal people living normal lives and don't give two thoughts about any of this cryptid stuff. Nothing paranormal, except for one, the one I contacted personally. This person has had paranormal experiences from a young age. This person about she's almost 30 now. But yeah, it's crazy. What really throws me is the lights they keep seeing. Some of them will come up out of the mountain behind them where they can see it. It was like they said it will shoot straight up. Some of these lights that will come out of the mountain will shoot straight up toward the sky, and others will come up and just hover. And that's the part that gets me. The ones that hover. And it's like how many of these lights are actually floating around in the woods? You know what I'm saying? These balls of light, these that you've heard about. You know, I heard
What they do
s-
with the UFO,
exactly. You
because
know.
the normal Sasquatch will break the net,
Mm-hmm.
but they will hollow out and eat the inner. That's their preferred meat.
I mean, I was kind of thinking along those same lines that it was most likely some type of, I don't know, alien influence. It was is
Hey,
I don't know. At first, I was thinking. At first, I was thinking it was probably Sasquatch activity. It got a couple people excited when I started talking about that. Well, look at this. I don't know for sure now. I really don't.
what?
I've talked to a number of friends. I've talked to three different people about this that I've collaborated with, and one of them has got contacts, and they happen to be a wildlife biologist.
Oh, nice.
And I was given I was given pictures, and I passed them along to my friend who sent them along to the wildlife biologist. Now I haven't heard anything back from him yet. I mean, they're really busy. Some random guy sent some pictures. It's hard to tell what they
It's
say.
got to be done, kind of off the record, on their own time.
Yep, it's exactly right. And it's sometimes it's hard to pin down, but it could be a simple fact of it might actually be something, and they don't want to tell me. You know what I'm saying? We talked about we talk about the cover up and all that stuff, and then I got to thinking about that. And my friend is in a professional. He's in a profession where he can't say a whole lot or do a whole lot, but he's doing what he can to help me out.
Tell you what,
You know,
that's
that's it. Yeah.
well, if you can look for tracks, look for painted tracks. Because a dog can kill you, not losing to it.
Right.
And
I
their
thought about that.
claws are sharp enough, they can do almost surgical cuts.
I've thought about that too. What are you doing, kitty? What you got there? It's I don't know. Once I get out there, I'll be able to find out more.
Hey, who knows? It could be a
Because these people have children, man. Most of them are
gotta
young
protect, you gotta protect the kids.
young school age. But like I was saying, they're normal average folks who just don't give two thoughts about most of this, and may not realize exactly what, I don't know, danger that could be out there. And I don't mean to be an alarmist, or I don't mean to sound like a fear monger or nothing like that. It's just fact. And most of my knowledge base comes from listening to hundreds and hundreds of eyewitness accounts,
Likewise,
and it just putting the pieces of the puzzle together. And I don't care, what field it is. It's all part of that knowledge base I'm trying to build. That's why I like. That's why I really like having guests on the show, people I can bounce ideas off of, or have input from different experiences. I'm like I said, I'm really glad you came on to share your experience. And it's like I Am Me said, when it boils down to it, it's the experiencer's prerogative, how they feel, and it's their decision, to get the word out. Here we go. Yeah, it's just how it is. You need to be careful. Nothing about that is fear mongering. Then they got it all wrong. Yeah, I really. I mean, if I can't complete a thought here a minute. Look, I don't know what I'm getting myself into. I really don't. At first, like I said, I thought it might have been some type of Sasquatch activity. Now I'm really not sure. I couldn't say. I really can't. If that's what it is. And with it being so close to the house, 150 feet from the enclosure, which is not far, and it's rather small from the house. I mean, it's not far at all, man. Not far at all.
No.
And here's the thing. They sent me pictures of it. It happened last Sunday, Saturday night, Sunday morning sometime. They found the corpse, the carcass of the horse that morning, and she posted it on Facebook. My nephew he went to school with her. Let's see. He said he passed it on to me, see if he could find out anything. So I got in touch with her, talked to her, and she's talking how later on the next day, when we're trying to get things situated, scheduled out to where I could come over and take a look at the property. She said, well, the horse is gone now. And by the way she said it, I just naturally assumed they'd buried the carcass, right? No. Something came back and got it. Something came back and got it, drug it off. It came back. That's after having all that human scent around it. That's most animals, they shy away from it. Buddy of mine says it's probably a bear. I don't know, man. It's a mini horse and just more or less. No, man. No, man. I just don't.
You could tell if it was drugged.
Right.
If it wasn't drugged, it was carried.
No, it wasn't a Bigfoot carcass. It was a horse. It was a mini horse, but it was an adult mini horse. Yeah, I mean, but
that kind of changes the dynamic. You're probably looking at this.
Right. One portion of the fence was busted open. It looked like it was carried out and not dragged. There was no drag marks. And here's another thing. No footprints. There's no tracks of anything. Whether it was bear, dog, or a cat. Now, the first time I looked at the wound, I was thinking cat. Like a mountain lion. And because, when they start, they'll start right in the chest area and break that open and go for the soft tissue, lungs, heart, liver, and just work their way down. But man, I don't know. I don't know. After all this,
We looked at it either a dog man or a Sasquatch.
maybe. I'm
If it's dog man, they are stealthy as hell.
right. Yeah. That's one thing I'm trying to keep. I keep my head on a swivel the whole time I'm out in the woods anyway, because I don't know what the hell is out there.
Yeah, then you got things like swallows, other more supernatural looking critters.
It's like IME says. The only thing that comes to mind is a werewolf or dogman or Bigfoot. I like the. I kind of prefer werewolf to dogman because I don't know, just and yeah, I got my own names for them. It's my own preference. I'm not judging, but you know, but he's right. I mean, they leave tracks sometimes. Now I've found tracks. I found tracks, but they're usually singular. This last time I documented that on one of my videos that I had two partials and a full actual print of a foot. That's the first time I've ever had that happen. Usually it's like they've dropped down out of the freaking sky, and stepped and then went right back up. There's no other footprints. I found a 16-inch one deep in the ground.
Disguise their tracks. People have seen them carrying branches behind them to erase their tracks.
You know, I have thought about that. It's very well possible they do that.
Yeah.
But the one thing that really bugged me about this last one is the fact that where it was at, from the direction the tracks were coming from to where they were going to. Okay? So, where they were coming from out of off a bank onto a creek bed. And from the way the foot was positioned in the direction of travel, from where I could see it was coming from, okay, it had to go through some thick brush to get there. And now I didn't see anything broken, nothing broken, no hair, nothing. It's like it just boom, 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 and gone. And it was headed toward the water. Now, the water could have washed away some of the other tracks. That's a given. Okay, we'll accept that. But where it was going doesn't bother me as much as where it came from. You see what I'm saying? It's like, where the hell did it come from? How did it get through all that brush? I know it was a big print. It was over 18 inches. Right? 5 foot stride from the toe of the rear partial print to the heel of the full print. I measured it out. 5 feet. 5 feet, one stride, and the next stride for the next partial up was 4.5.
Now they can take an awful lot of air if they jump.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do it with a ravine, they probably did jump.
I don't know, man. It's really bugging me about what could be out there. Because
I don't think anybody cares to elaborate.
Oh. hang out here for another 30 minutes, and I'm going to have to call it a night, guys. Yeah. Got a 2-hour show in. It's been interesting. Black Eyed Kids. It was just, I started tonight's show off with the Black Eyed Kids, and because it's just something I don't know a whole lot about. I've just recently started diving into it, looking into it, and I was reading that one article about the occult background with some of the people that have had these encounters, and I don't know how much I believe that. Sometimes I think it's just random as shit. Other times maybe they are picked out. Like we were talking about how, they tune into frequencies.
That's fine.
It's like these people are, like I said, kind of, for lack of a better word, marked. And I don't know.
I'm almost under the impression that they're extraterrestrial or supernatural.
Yeah. Possibly. One of the theories that they're alien human hybrids. Who knows? But let's read some of this. What IME saying, yeah, me too. A researcher said they call them dogmen because they don't want people to be being fooled by there being werewolves in the U.S. Why would he... What? And people say,
Shapeshifter.
The shapeshifters. Well, what's a werewolf? A werewolf is a shapeshifter.
Right.
To a degree. I mean, according to lore, they're usually a cursed individual trapped with, in this form for a certain period of time, or they're trapped, period, in a form of a wolf. I've got several different books on the subject. But they're shapeshifters. Like skinwalkers,
you're Nagalushi.
I said a couple of months back, there are people who want to know what they are, cryptids, Bigfoot, etc., but everyone are not going to like or agree to everything that is proven. That is a fact. That's a fact. You get confused about a lot of this stuff. I don't know. I try to stick to the facts. I guess I do have my own bias, I guess. And my... I guess my views kind of skewed. I guess, I don't know. Maybe it should be a little more objective. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, that's just normal psychology.
Right. No.
Kind of got a little bit of a heads up on the I actually have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice.
Well, you've got a blue million people out here researching and claiming this, that, and the third, and they really don't know what the hell's up any more than anybody else does. And that's the part that gets me. Is, when they start spouting facts. Okay, these facts are what we assume we know. And so they're what do you call them? Hypothesis? Theories?
Yeah.
You've got hypothesis and you've got theory. And basically that most of what we've got is that, and most of the evidence is what we call trace evidence. Right. And there's people out here. Oh, look, this is where. Okay, let's get into the weeds here with some of this. Talking about the conflict that's in the paranormal community, the UFO community, all of them. You notice if they would just come together and just compare notes, what kind of answers they might find.
Backstabbing each other.
Exactly, they backstab each other. They talk shit about one another, and there are people in the cryptid world. Okay, they're straight up Bigfoot and straight up thinking Bigfoot is a North American great ape, a dumb monkey banging on trees and beating on rocks. And they think that anybody who believes in the dog man is an idiot. That there is no proof that there's such a cryptid out there as a dog man.
Until they come face to face with one.
All right. I mean, there's evidence out there. Got track casts of supposed werewolf, dog man footprints out there. Claw marks. They've got almost as many dog man eyewitness encounters as there is friggin' Sasquatch.
Yeah.
And it's been around.
Quack that's canine in shape, but elongated.
Mm-hmm. Dude, you know, the fact that there have been talk of a bipedal canine type creature running around North America, noted, I mind you, since the 1700s at least,
Yeah.
and that the Native American tribes around the U.S. and Canada and Mexico and South America have reported these creatures throughout their history, just like Sasquatch.
Well, yeah. And including wars between them and Sasquatch. Over hunting territory.
That's exactly right. And what I don't understand with this statement right here is why the government doesn't disclose this type of information when you know they exist. And the other night I was talking about their so-called disclosure of their knowledge of UAPs, UFOs, whatever you want to call them now, whatever the current acronym is. It's a joke. You know, a lot of it we already know. Footage that was released years ago that we already know, and they say, "Oh yeah, we know about that. Yeah, we've got somebody studying about that." And take Project Blue Book for instance. We've known about that for years.
The TV series is fun.
I mean, they've been researching this for a very, very long time, and I'm pretty sure it predates what people found in Roswell.
That
You know,
wasn't extraterrestrial.
was it a weather balloon?
No.
What was it?
It was a terrestrial made inverse vector thrust saucer.
Oh, so it was ours.
It was originally a Nazi invention.
Okay, right.
There's actually pictures of them sitting on the tarmac after they blew them up.
Okay. Like what they used to call the bell craft. It was like a saucer, but almost like a big cap on it. You know, sort of.
The original scientists originally developed these as target drones for the Luftwaffe.
Okay.
And the Luftwaffe took the design and blew it up and so they could make long-range bombers out of it. There's an actual one-on-one interview with this scientist out there.
Right.
I'd seen it. And he was, at the end of the war, he was captured by the Soviets. And they wanted him to redesign these craft to form Polish planes.
Okay.
I'm thinking it was one of these craft that was being used as a recon craft that was shot down using, and the reason it was so hushed up was because they were using an experimental weapon when they shot it down.
Okay, well, you know, that makes sense.
Because they've played now, they've declassified the air traffic comm channel from that incident.
Right.
The last thing you hear is you have the weapon, use it. And you hear a sound like a lightning bolt.
Okay.
Experimental Tesla cannon and kick it down.
Tesla cannon, yeah.
It's a directed electrical weapon.
That makes sense.
And it's right in the air to ground comm channel. And some of the witnesses said there was lightning in the area and not a cloud in the sky.
Right.
You know, you get all of this stuff and then you can put it together.
Mm-hmm. Now, another friend of mine was talking about that. I showed him the pictures too. And he said when he was a boy, he remembers his dad had leased some land to a farmer. And he had cattle come up missing. I forget how many head of cattle wound up missing. Or, well, not missing, killed. Okay. And they were mutilated. This is a standard mutilation that you hear about, right? Tongues cut out, the whole body cavity emptied out of its organs, and pieces of its face or a piece of the hindquarters or something like that, just something maybe about that big around, like out of its face or off a shoulder, a circle with circular precision was done, and it was most of these cattle. And he said it was several cattle that he lost, and it looked like this. And those blue lights around about that time, and around about this time that this happened. I don't know if you're familiar with Stan Gordon or not. I've been talking about him a lot lately. He was doing research that's about around the time when the big UFO boom hit back in the late 60s, early 70s, early to mid 70s, right? And he was investigating all kinds of crazy reports of, UFOs. And he wouldn't shy away from any of the other stuff like hauntings and Bigfoot either. But it reminds me of that, and I get to hearing about that. And I comparing the stories that Stan told about some of his investigations and what he had to deal with, who he talked to, the reports he took, and so on and so forth. In this case that I'm getting ready to jump in on, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I said, at first I thought it was Bigfoot, and I'm thinking maybe it's a dog man. Maybe it's a dog man that did that. Like you said, I was thinking it's those claws are sharp enough to take it out pretty efficiently, and
Well, and they'll
you,
turn off an animal and kill it elsewhere.
right. And my question is, what they heard nothing. Now, if it'd been a pack of wolves, or not wolves, but coyotes that we have around here, they would have been making a hell of a lot of noise, and it would have been a mess.
Oh yeah, there's been pieces all over the place.
Yes, exactly. There have been pieces of that thing laying all over the place. I've seen what they do to deer,
Oh,
and and
what a cougar can do to your own domestic cow.
right. And I was actually thinking about that at first too. I said, well, if it's an actual animal that did this, first thing I would think of is a cougar.
Yeah, but they
You know,
cougar would have killed it right on in the pack.
right. But they would have, they wouldn't have just left it there. They would have covered it up somehow or other.
Right.
They usually cover it up, bury it. Unless something drove it off. That could have happened. I don't know. I'm speculating or not. I've been speculating all week. It's been driving me nuts, man.
The lack of blood splatter.
Do what now?
The lack of blood splatter.
Right. None. Zero.
Yeah, it tells me they were disemboweled elsewhere and devoured.
Right. Right. Hold on just a second. I want to see if I can find them again and bring them up and let you take a look at them.
Oh, sure.
And show you what I'm talking about. Let's see. Okay. Hold on a second. I gotta move this over here. All right. All right, here we go. Now, let me zoom in here. Can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
That crazy? Another shot. You see any blood around here whatsoever? Look, none. Zero. So that's what I'm dealing with, guys. That's what I'm dealing with.
That was done by something with very sharp claws that knew exactly how to pretty much rip the insides out of it without leaving the blood there.
Right. So, here's another one I want to share with you. Let's see. Take a look at this one. There we go. Alright, look at that fence. This is where it was removed from. Okay. And this top rail is the only one that's been busted out.
It's not
And
busted.
then,
It's off.
right. Then you see where my cursor, can you see where my cursor is? Right here? Along the top ridge here. See all that mud? And you get to this part right here. It almost looks like a print. Yeah. Right. That right there's the only blood that was anywhere around. That right there. That's it.
Looks like it was drained in
I know.
on purpose. And it would take something with intelligence to drain a body.
Right.
Kill it.
Yeah. I don't think that was a I don't think it was your your average bear that did that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it was
That top rail had been drained off.
mm-hmm. So this has been a topic of discussion around about all week, more or less. On the show Wednesday, tonight.
Claw marks in a couple of places.
Right. Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. And exactly what you said. Looks like some intelligence was behind it. You better believe it. I don't. A buddy of mine said, I think he's just trying to protect his job, and he says, "Well, probably just a bear." Dude, come on! I know better than that shit.
Bear's gonna do that.
Bullshit.
If bear did that, it would have crushed all of the planks.
Right. They wouldn't have removed just one.
No.
And
It would have just went right through it.
what's the deal with it being against that tree, though? I mean,
Leverage.
yeah.
It probably had one arm wrapped around the tree when it was pulling.
I don't know, dude. Yeah.
That was either that's either a Sasquatch killer or a dog. If the nets were broke, it's a Sasquatch.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here's another thing, another really interesting thing. And there are no claw marks or puncture wounds or anything like that they could find on it. I was like, dude. God bless you. Yep.
Yeah, you look more like you're dealing with
It could be. It could be.
It's either a rogue or a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Good boy's got claws that can rip into his body.
Mm-hmm.
But even a normal squat can go after the cat. That's the picture of me. Who's to know? They couldn't have used the stone knife.
No. Either way, I think I got my hands full. Peeps, I do. I think I got my hands full.
You got your hands full, just keep your head on a swivel and be careful.
I will. By all means, I'm going to be real careful. I give 'em, definitely be watching my six while I'm out there. Even, somebody asked me, "You going out there at night?" I said, "Hell no, I'm not going out there at night. I don't know the place, for one."
If you're going to do it at night, I would set up like surveillance from the
Right,
using thermal.
right. The curious thing though is, property next to theirs. It's all wooded, so I'm definitely going to have to go through there and take a look around. There, that's where I'm going to find what I need to find. I think not there on the property itself, but the property surrounding it. I
Direction the kill is terrible.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it was just exactly.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Yeah.
Dealing with something with intelligence. That makes it even more dangerous.
Mm. So yeah, I got my hands full. I figure I'll figure it out one way or the other. Yo, I'm gonna have to call it a night, yo. I appreciate you guys jumping by, and Clayton, thanks for coming on and telling your story and sharing your experiences with everybody. I am me. Thank you for being here, and glad things are going good over there in Sweden. That's crazy. I'm international. It's great.
Inadvertently, I am too.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate that. Here's the thing. When I said these are simple, normal people who just don't pay no attention to this stuff. I will tell you. I will give you a quote real quick. Okay. Hold on, let me get to it. Yeah, I told her not to, if she wanted her privacy kept, secret and wouldn't want anybody to know about it, don't contact certain people. And she said, I'm really not too worried about it. And this is the person I talked to. This is a girl I talked to, young lady. She said, I'm not really too worried about it, honestly. I'm letting you come look just because you want to. But I'm not really looking for answers or worried about what happened. To me, it is what it is. Laugh out loud.
Well, it happened. Let's move on. Sort of thing.
It's one of those things where I think people just want to be left the hell alone.
That's what most people want.
Yeah, and where they're at, it's very, very rural, very remote, and I can see that, and their privacy will be kept, locked down. It's just the case itself, not who's involved. What happened, not who it happened to. And I respect that. It's like I asked IME if he would come on and tell the story. He said he's not willing to do that right now. Absolutely. That's cool. Respect people's wishes. And that's what I intend to do. But I also want to get them the answers they need to know if I can. Thank you. I really hope the channel grows. You deserve it. Topics like these are important, especially live streams where people can talk about what they're without being ridiculed and laughed at. And then I honestly think there's a. Let me post that again and leave it up here for a minute because it's really important for people to see this. And this is what Raven's Outpost is all about. For people to come together, share their information, share their stories, and it's a gathering of knowledge. It's a gathering of knowledge. It's like you sharing, Clayton. Clayton, you sharing your knowledge with us tonight, and your knowledge with what we've been talking about. It's a knowledge base, man. That's what I want, and that's what I want to come out of this channel. This right here, what happened tonight, and it's usually this show since it started. It takes on a mind of its own, and I love that. Yeah. My poor kitty. But anyway, that's it for the night. Guys, like I said, I really appreciate you guys coming by, hanging out with me, and sharing what you shared. And hopefully we can do it again.
Well, if I can catch you again and get on, I'll share a real funny guard duty story with you because I've been in a government lab.
Right. Damn.
You go in, you do your rounds, and you're followed by a quad drone about the size of a suitcase. It's got a machine gun on it.
What the hell?
Yeah, this thing follows you through the whole complex as you're doing your rounds. I mean, if you got that thing, why do you need guards?
Right. Damn. Okay. All right.
Yeah, 249 mounted right underneath it.
Damn.
5.56.
Oh. Right. All right, buddy. Clayton. You be careful out there. Be safe, and now we're gonna try to. I am me. I appreciate you coming by here. Hopefully, I might try and go live again tomorrow night. I don't know. We'll see. And you guys have a great one. And good night.